dear students, welcome to science class. And in science class today we will learn and discuss about sedimentary rocks from the chapter Rocks and Minerals. Let's start. The lines are written from book. Action of water and wind breaks the rock into smaller and smaller pieces such as clay and sand. In chapter Soil Erosion and Conservation, you learn about what is weathering, how soil is formed, and what are the agents who are responsible for formation of soil and breaking the rocks into smaller pieces. So wind and water, about these two you learned. So by the action of wind and water, the rocks break into smaller pieces which deposited in the ocean bed or in the land layer by layer, and over a long period of time these layers become hard and change into rock, which is called sedimentary rock. So sediments are those things like particles of sand, shells, pebbles, gravel and fragments of materials. All these particles are called segments. Gradually, the sediments accumulated in layers and over a long period of time hardens into rock. So, when this layer accumulated one by one or one after another by the pressure and temperature, these layers of soil or clay and sand change into rock. In this picture, you can see different layers of soil and their different colors, which are piled up after a long period of time. Here is a picture where formation of sedimentary rocks is shown. Here the the gravels or sand and clay carried away by rainwater and by wind. Then these particles deposit into the ocean bed like a sediment. So for long period of time these materials which washed away by rain and blown by wind accumulate into the ocean bed, and by the pressure of water and other layer over there, the bottom layer of the sediments turn into rock, that is become hard. The colors also sediments get changed by the chemical reaction and by the action of temperature and pressure. So student, I think understood how sedimentary rocks are formed. Sedimentary rocks are mainly found in still water, lagoon, lake, where the water is still and the particle get the chance to sediment or settle down at the bottom of the water bodies. So generally sedimentary rocks are fairly soft and may break apart or crumble easily. We can often see sand, pebbles, shells or stones in sedimentary rocks, and it is usually the only type that contains fossils. So what are fossils? Fossils are the preserved remains of plants and animals trapped in the rock. So what is the meaning of preserved remains? Preserved remains means the body parts or the remains of plants and animals not decayed. Like in humus we learn that decayed part of plants and animals are called humus. Here the part or the remains of plants and animals preserved. by the action of pressure, temperature and chemicals. So most of the sedimentary rock contains fossils because there is a chance of trapping of these animals and plants body between the layers of sediments. Examples of sedimentary rocks are sandstone, conglomerate, limestone and shale. So here is a printing mistake. It is not a shale. So it is a shale. Okay. So these are the four type of sedimentary rock that we will learn. First one is sandstone. It is a common sedimentary rock. It is made up of small grains of sand joined together. It mostly contains quartz. So here the quartz is a name of mineral which is found in sedimentary rock. And if we break the sedimentary rock, we can see the very small grains of sand. It may be pink, yellow or brown in color. Sandstone is often used as building stone, that is used in construction purpose. Red Fort in Delhi and the Agra Fort are made up of sandstone. Here you can see the picture of Agra Fort which is made up of red sandstone. Now as the nature of this sandstone is not so hard like that of the igneous rocks. So by the friction of air or action of wind and rain, the erosion also occurs in the sandstone. Next, limestone. It consists largely of the fine grains that are soft. It contains the mineral calcium and remains of tiny sea shells. It is generally grey or white in color. So sandstone is a sedimentary rock formed from accumulation of sea animals like shell of sea animals, coral, algal and other organic debris. Chalk is also formed from limestone. It is used in the process for making lime, paint, cement. Also used in the process of separating metals from their ores. So here ores are the metallic mineral from which metals are extracted, and in this process limestone is used. So it is one of the soft stone. If you go in Odisha, the hills named like Udaygiri, Khandagiri, these are made up of limestones. Conglomerate is found mostly in the river bed, sea beaches, glaciers or deep water marine. It has rounded stone like pebbles, gravels and boulders cemented together into a mass. So that means these very things like pebbles and gravels are carried away by agents far distance, and when these materials accumulate in a riverbed or sea beaches and glaciers, these boulders cemented together into a mass. It is used for construction and also polish to make instrument. Shell, it is made up of solidified clay and mud piled up in layers. It is used to make bricks, tiles and cements used in construction work. Shell forms in very deep ocean water, lagoons, lake and swamps where water is still enough to allow extremely fine clay and silt particles to settle to the floor. So when the water is still, which is not flowing, there the very fine particles can easily settle down. So we can see shell in deep ocean water bed, lagoons and lakes. And it takes many years to form these layers. Fossils. Many sedimentary rocks have the remains of dead plants and animals, which is known as fossils. Fossils are the preserved remains of plants and animals trapped in rock. So preserved, here the preserved remains means without any decaying of these parts or remains of plants and animals, that is the fossil. And by the time it become very hard, they get deposited along with rocks particles in layers. The fossils could be leaves, shells, bones and footprints. In this picture you can see the fossil of dinosaur which reigned the world millions of years ago. And another picture, a fossil of leaves. Some fossils are found in sedimentary rocks. The creatures or the plants not exist now. That means prehistoric plants and animals, also fossils of prehistoric plants and animals can be seen in sedimentary rocks. So these are very important part and gives us many informations about history and prehistory. That means millions of years ago these very plants and animals got trapped by any means, by any natural catastrophe between the layers of the soil or clay, or after the death of these plants and animals the layers of soil piled over there and become very hard by action of temperature, pressure and chemicals reaction. So students, I think this topic is clear to you. Next day we will learn about metamorphic rock, and thank you for watching the video.